And let me get the encoder up and running. And you are good to go.
All right, we're back live. Terry and Gary's Low Expectations Facebook after being put on a 24-hour timeout from Dr. Britt Baker.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
I demand respect. I went to school for 8 years. For you to not put the title in front of the name, that's a very expensive title. So
Right.
I'm going to need you to respect it.
And I apologize for Gary, and I apologize myself. You know, we're not used to having a doctor in the wrestling business, a real doctor.
That's right.
Now, Gary, are you going to share this and stuff?
Yeah, go ahead. Take
Okay.
over.
Now, Dr. Baker, do you have a lot of people asking you, like a lot of wrestling fans, do they second guess you as a doctor, or do they think it's just a work, part of a character? And
yeah, up until about like when I was at least a few months into AEW, people just thought it was a gimmick. And they were like, why would she do that? And then when they find out, oh no, she's actually a dentist, they're like, oh wow, like that's impressive. That's crazy. But for a long time, no one really knew that I actually am a practicing dentist.
Right. And you went to school for how many years now?
I did 8 years total, 4 at Penn State and 4 at Pitt. Okay.
Now, a lot of people don't understand. Did you start off going to school and then get into wrestling, or was wrestling first and then going to school to become a doctor, dentist?
So they were literally at the exact same time. When I moved to Pittsburgh to go to dental school is when I started training at the IWC Wrestling Academy in Pittsburgh. So I was still living in State College at Penn State, but my wrestling class started earlier. So twice a week I would drive the 3 hours back and forth to get to training and back until I moved to Pittsburgh. And I loved every second of it. I was so hyped up because I just took a bump, and I was like driving at 3 a.m. with all the adrenaline, being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a wrestler. So
right.
It was cool.
Now, did you say Pittsburgh or Britsburg?
Well, right. Britsburg.
Okay.
Obviously. I'm being humble, though. I'm trying to be humble.
Okay. That's something Gary does not know what to be, is humble. Yeah, he's always, throwing that away. Before there was social distancing, he would make me social distance from himself. So I think
he's one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those. And he wasn't even a champ, so I could see if he had a title,
I'm always the champ.
Right, see?
Come on.
Well, that's a good attitude. I support that.
Well, thank you.
Right. Okay. Now, actually, I'm not going to lie, Gary. I kind of brushed my teeth before I came on, and I made sure I flossed.
I flossed, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, because I remember having a conversation with you about 3 or 4 years ago, because I was missing a cleaning, right? They say every 6 months, and you actually told me. You go, you could go a little bit longer than 6 months. What is the actual requirement for a cleaning?
I mean, they recommend it at least once a year. As long as you're brushing and flossing regularly, like once a year. If you're not, definitely every 6 months. And there's even some people that need to get deep cleanings every 3 months or every 4 months. But okay. I'm gonna hope and assume that you all take good care of your teeth, and we could probably slide you under the radar into the 1 year department.
Right. Okay. I think they just wanted to, get some money out of me.
Sure. I mean, of course, it's a business, right?
And exactly. And every year, what's the importance of getting x-rays too? Because a lot of times I think it's annually, or is it? How often?
Yeah, annually. If there's something going on, like if there's a small cavity starting, but it's like, we don't need to fill this. Let's see if it'll kind of resolve on its own. They might take it your next appointment back. Or if you have an infection, or if you have pain that you didn't have before, they want you, like an x-ray shows you what's going on the inside. I can't see through your teeth, but I can with an x-ray. So it's all circumstantial.
Now, as far as if there's any type of cancer development underneath the gums, would an x-ray pick that up or no?
If there's something that's like showing if there's an alteration in the bone, or if there's a lesion, it could. But most of that stuff can manifest. You'll see it clinically when you look in the mouth. And I'm very, very cautious. If I see anything where I even think it could be precancerous, I'm sending them to oral surgery to get a full evaluation.
Right. Now, in the wrestling business, Gary, I don't know if you know this, but people chew tobacco quite often.
My boyfriend chews
Yeah.
more than anybody I know, and it's like the one thing we fight about. We don't really get into many arguments, but we fight about his dipping. And I tell him, one day I'm going to be the one that has to cut half of your tongue off, and I'm going to say, I told you so.
Yeah. Now, when did he start doing that?
He says when he was on the Indies, because he lived in Eastern Pennsylvania, like more towards like Lancaster, that like closer to Harrisburg, and he was making all these long drives to Chicago and whatnot. That would keep him awake when he was driving by himself.
Okay.
I don't care. It's an excuse.
Right.
I don't care. I don't support it.
Right. No, because I don't remember him dipping when we were together in Ring of Honor, but I wasn't on all the shows with him. I was just usually at TV.
He was definitely dipping by then.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you guys have been dating for how many years now?
It's been about 3.5 years.
Okay. And he's still
he's in next, right?
Dipping.
NXT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if people are watching, they don't know who your boyfriend is, can you please tell them?
Oh, Adam Cole, baby.
I was just going to say that. You stole my softball. I threw you a softball. Damn.
There's a few of those a show.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing good. He's doing really well.
Nice. How are the parents?
The parents are great. They're going to church every Sunday still. They watch wrestling. They never miss it. My mom and dad, they never miss it every week.
And they were at a couple AEW shows, weren't they?
Yep. They flew to Las Vegas for the pay-per-view. Any show they can get to, they'll go to. Pretty much. Right. Obviously Pittsburgh. They had to be there for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh show.
How was it wrestling there in Pittsburgh for AEW?
That was really cool because we wrestled on the Pitt campus in their basketball arena, and it's called the Peterson Event Center, which is like the building directly beside where I went to dental school. And the Peterson Event Center, there's like a little area in that building where I used to study until like 4 a.m. So all you have to do is go down the escalator and through the doors, and that's where we wrestled. So it was really cool. And they Tony had booked the Steelers mascot to come out with me for my entrance, which like as a Steelers fan was the coolest thing ever. And we had like the terrible towels. All the fans had their terrible towels. So it was really cool. It was one of my favorite nights in wrestling by far.
Nice.
I'm glad you're not an Eagles fan.
Oh. Say no more. No.
Gary, don't get us on another timeout, please.
No,
I'm happy she's not an Eagles fan because I hate the Eagles too.
Oh, okay, good. We can agree.
Yeah.
Hey, now you're originally from. Can you tell everybody where you're originally from?
Punxsutawney.
And
so you're used to this Groundhog Day, then, aren't you? Every day.
Oh yeah. I used to go to Groundhog Day every year. Like it's a holiday in Punxsutawney. You get the day off of school, and everybody goes to Gobbler's Knob, and it's a whole thing there.
Now, do you get asked about that famous movie with one of my favorite actors, Bill Murray?
I would say 8 out of 10 times when I say I'm from Punxsutawney.
Yeah. Now, does it get annoying, or is that movie just became so embraced by Punxsutawney, where it's like you take pride in the movie, or is it just like, oh gosh, another one?
It's a fraud. I'm gonna break your heart, but I'm gonna tell you that was filmed in Chicago, not in Punxsutawney. So I have to tell people, I'm sorry, but it's not the real deal. You want the real deal, you got to come to Punxsutawney.
Are you gonna need a minute, Terry?
I'm definitely gonna need.
I
might need you to put me on a timeout because
I'm honest. I can't lie. I can't lie to you.
Wow.
I can't lie.
Right. No, but I mean, as far as having that film, and Groundhog's Day, which is obviously, tell us what are the 2 greatest things to ever come out of Punxsutawney? You got Punxsutawney Phil and
Dr. Britt Baker.
Thank you. See, Gary, this is how we get our people to come back for another show. We got to sweeten.
That's right. It's working.
Oh, nice. So, Gary, you had a couple questions people wrote in?
Oh, yeah, we have lots of questions. One question is, do any of the wrestlers after a match decide to ask for, like, dental advice, or if you kick somebody?
Oh, my gosh.
So you get that a lot? Or?
all the time. And I have quite a few patients at my office that are WWE, NXT, AEW. I can't tell you who they are because that's a HIPAA violation. I don't want to, I'm anti-lawsuit. I'm trying to keep a clean slate. But very, very often, and there's like wrestling tooth injuries all the time that like you don't even know, you don't even see on TV, but they're in my office the next day. Hey, my filling came out, this kick chipped a tooth. So all the time.
Are you, being a dentist, are you more careful when you're hitting somebody in the face or kicking somebody in the face? Do you have a little bit more tension?
Well, I think the nature of the business, if you're kicking someone in the teeth, you're an asshole. But if you, that you're just bad, you're just a bad wrestler. You're a bad worker then. So I like to take care. I like to think, gonna be a little bit safer. I just want to win. I don't want to hurt their teeth.
Well, now we can work out a deal. I can send you some business and I can just say, oh, I'm sorry, and then, knock out a tooth or something. And then we can split, whatever you pull.
Yeah.
In.
That's a good business proposal. We'll have to consider it.
Right.
Now, were you guys together before in was it Impact, or where were you guys? Have you wrestled together before?
No,
I met Rhino. It was at this is a good story actually.
Yeah.
I tell this story all the time for like the start of my wrestling career. It was an IWC wrestling show. There was a seminar that was being led by Rhino, and I wasn't going to do it because I was so new. Like I had just learned how to hit the ropes like 2 months ago, maybe. Like I didn't know anything about putting a match together, nothing. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because I'm here. So from that point on, Rhino and I had stayed in contact. He says, did you submit anything to WWE or anything? And I said, no, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Like once I get a couple years on the right button, he goes, no. And you need to ask yourself, WWVD, what would Vince do? He would submit his information now and be ahead of the game. And I was like, oh, okay. And then right after that, I had a WWE tryout, and I did a ton of extra work with WWE while I was still in dental school. And he's always looked out for me and always gave me great advice and kept an eye out for me. So I've always been super appreciative of Ryan. He helped me a lot.
Well, and that's another thing, like Vic Joseph, Victor Crevolante, Alicia Taylor, she's a ring announcer, there's several other, yourself, like Gary, I've mentioned this before on the podcast, is I can only do so much. I can give you advice, but you're the one that would have to make the call, send the stuff in, and that's what Britt did. And she would, and one thing I told her, because a lot of people, especially that early in the business, they don't know if they should send it in because they don't think they're ready. And I explained to you and a lot of people is, one, Vince wouldn't wait for the phone to ring. Vince would make the phone ring. And how are you going to do that? By calling, getting your name out there, being seen, all that stuff. And a lot of times with NXT is they would rather have someone that's not necessarily trained so they can kind of train them the right way, opposed to trying to, deprogram them and then retrain them. So, it was, that's why I was like, you got to get your stuff out there because they might just, you have a lot to offer, and then they can train you the right way too. So. But yeah.
And actually, at the end of that tryout, Canyon pulled me aside and he said, like, we really like you. You have a lot of the qualities we like. But I remember, I'll never forget this. He said, because I thought I was going to get signed because they made me do like the extra physicals where it's like only the people that they signed did this extra step. And he pulled me aside. He says, as a father, I have a hard time pulling you out of a professional education program. He goes, like, you're going to be a dentist. You need to finish your degree and be a dentist, which I'm so happy and so thankful he did that, because if they would have offered me a contract, I was out. I would have dropped everything, moved to Orlando and became a wrestler. But the fact that I finished dental school, got my degree, and now I'm still a wrestler, that's the best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah, and plus now when did you start with AEW?
So January was a year. And that was when I started talking about signing a contract. That was one of the first things. As I said, I worked really hard for my degree, and I have a hard time stomaching like never using it and just totally never being a dentist. And that would be probably most likely the case with NXT. They're need pretty much Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Saturday, with training and studying and road shows. And there's just schedule is really rough. And I would have never been able to do dentistry with that. But this is a little bit different. Like the schedule's a lot lighter. We don't travel as much. We don't have a performance center, which has its pros and cons, but still it's, for my situation personally as being a dentist, it's absolutely ideal.
Right. And plus they've embraced the fact, and even WWE, that like you said, Kenyon said, hey, I have a problem pulling you out of becoming a dentist and everything. And plus, with AEW, it seems like, they've embraced the fact, of your, being a dentist and so that I remember when you told me you were going to sign, and then, and it seemed like it all worked out the way it should work out and most beneficial to you. And plus to have a real doctor, on your team, that says a lot for AEW too. So anybody would be happy to have you. And just so obviously I'm, been in this business a long time. We would have loved you back in the 90s, because we would have said, bring your prescription pad.
Oh yeah.
I
got that a few times when I was on the indies in the locker rooms, and I was just like the new girl, like hiding in the corner, like, oh my God, don't make eye contact, I'm scared.
You were one of the first females signed by AEW, correct?
Yep, the first one.
So that's a pretty good accomplishment. That's pretty they had high expectations of you, I assume then.
Yeah, I had did the show kind of, it's not directly affiliated, but kind of associated, the All In show, which was the first indie pay-per-view, I guess is what they kind of associate it with. But that had a really good reaction, and I was in the female four-way in that, so it was really cool to kind of carry on and continue the storyline with everybody else that was involved, like the Young Bucks, Kenny, Cody. It's cool.
Yeah. Now, being part of the AEW team, you guys got TV every week and stuff like that, and the ownership, I hear nothing but good things about them. The management,
fantastic,
and the talent. And what are some of the things that you have in plan for yourself for the future with AEW, as far as matches and stuff, and the character or the path you want to go?
Just this year was the first time in my life that I've been a heel character, like the villain, and it was something that it was Kenny's suggestion, like, hey, we need like a female heel, like, what do you think? And I remember being like really scared, because I was like, oh, I mean, of course I want to do it, I'd love to, I just don't know what I'm doing. And it's actually where I've been thriving the most is with like heel promos and heel character work. Probably it's just a heightened version of myself, right? No, but I really feel like having so much hands-on involvement with everybody else has helped me so much. Chris Jericho, I can't say enough good things about. He has helped me so much, and I actually derived my character, like the delusional self-proclaimed role model, from his WCW work, and it's so cool to get to literally ask him for advice. And also Cody Rhodes, tremendous, helps with all the new talent, because there's so many of us, we've never been on TV ever, and then they just kind of threw us to the sharks, saying, hey, here we go, buckle up. And he's really, really good with helping us, because I think he understands that too. Kenny is very hands-on with the women's division. He runs the women's division, and you can't say enough good things about Kenny Omega. He's a genius. Right. So and Tony Khan himself, Tony is, he's the booker, he's the boss, he's everything, and he is hands-on, like in the ring with us before the show. There is not a better boss in the world. I would put my life on that. If I have a question, a concern, an idea, I talk to him right away, face to face, and he will listen. He'll give you his input. He'll be straight up with you. Hey, I like that. Hey, don't like that. Let's try to make this work. He's the best. Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed in wrestling, and I'm sure Gary can testify to this, like with Comic-Cons and magazines and all that stuff and comic books. If you're a hands-on, it definitely helps the product. With with when I was with WWE and even NXT with Hunter and even Vince, you'd have to wait because a lot of people would want to talk, but very approachable, and the whole McMahon family. And then with Impact, working with Scott. Scott is kind of like hands-on doing all that stuff. So, and that really, you can go to him with ideas before, after the show, and have a line of communication, on the days you're not at shows, which is good too, because you can kick around ideas. And I think that's why wrestling is where it's at, and wrestling's at a good state because in AEW, there's a lot of talent there, and Impact, there's a lot of talent. And obviously with WWE, and NXT, there's a lot of talent. So it's a great time to be a wrestling fan right now.
It really is. It's the competition makes everybody exceed everyone's expectations. So the fact that there's so many opportunities to wrestle now and make a legit career out of it is it's the best. This is the best time right now.
No, right. Have you always been a wrestling fan? I mean, did you grow up a wrestling fan as a kid, or is that something you fell in love with?
Yeah, I've definitely I've always had I've always knew what wrestling was, and the family that babysat me when I was a kid, it was all boys. It was 5 boys. They always had wrestling on, but it wasn't until I would say more so my high school, college, undergrad years where I was I never missed a pay-per-view. I was watching everything. And then when I went to move to Pittsburgh, my friends told me, hey, you should try out for indie wrestling there because Pittsburgh's a huge indie wrestling scene. And I had only watched the wrestling that I saw on TV or bought the pay-per-views for. So I had no idea what indie wrestling was. So I started getting really into, Googling, YouTubing, everything indie wrestling. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Maybe I will try this out. Really didn't have any expectations of succeeding with it or it going anywhere. But I was just like, well, I just have to try it. I'm just going to try.
Right. That's a lot. I think a lot of people, Gary, they're like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot, and I'll put it all in, I'll have my goals and stuff. And sometimes, I don't know if you found it, was it hard to share your goals? When you knew you wanted to be part of a big company, was it hard to share because you were afraid your friends would laugh at you?
Oh, yeah. I was in dental school. I was essentially the outcast. I was the nerd in dental school because they're all these prestige top scholars from all over the world, all different countries. And then it's she's not going to the library because she's going to wrestling practice. What? Who is this girl? So it's kind of funny that I was the nerd in dental school. Definitely.
Gary, you got questions if you don't mind answering a few more questions.
Yeah, for sure.
One of them is from our good friend, Detroit Red Wing, Darren McCarty. He wants to know, what do you have against pepperoni on your pizza?
I don't know where. That's a rumor, and it's a bold-faced lie. I love pepperoni on pizza. I don't think that the pizza this week that was presented to Big Swole's face, I don't think it had pepperoni on it, but honestly, I was just saving the pepperoni. I didn't want to waste pepperoni.
So you hear that, Darren McCarty? She loves pepperoni on her pizza.
That's right.
What is something that you don't like on your pizza? Do you eat ranch on your pizza?
I do. I was just going to say that I dip my pizza in ranch religiously. I won't eat pizza without it. It's just it's the most satisfying combination ever. But right. I'm not into, I don't like really olives and anchovies.
Yeah, what are anchovies?
It's a little fish, but I tried it because I was like, I can't knock it until I tried it. It's just pure salt. It's
okay. Because I always said no anchovies, but I never really knew what it was. I think as a kid, I always just anchovies.
It's no good. Just stay away. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
Patrick had the same question, and then we have another. David wants to know, what is a tooth and nail match?
So the tooth and it's just kind of playing the saying fighting tooth and nail. It's just a play on words, but it's really a falls count anywhere match.
Okay. And then Matthew wants to know, is there one wrestling match that made you want to be a pro wrestler? Something you saw that made you just want to try it?
No, I don't have a match where I'm like, oh wow, that was it. But I think the 4 horsewomen were really – influential and inspiring to me. So the Sasha, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Naomi, Io Shirai, 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 Becky, Charlotte, that group of girls is when I was coming up. That's when I was training. That's what kind of made being an actual female wrestler and kind of showing equality platforms for male and female. That I think were really the pioneers in that. So I always attribute to where I'm at now and who I look to those 4 women.
And Brad wants to know, since we're on the topic of pizza for some reason, does pineapple belong on pizza? Because he believes it does.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not my first pick, but I do like a good Hawaiian pizza.
We get some of the best questions.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Yeah, because I think you got to be, in the mood for pineapple on your pizza. I don't
Right,
think
pineapple and ham. It's a nice little. It's just a change up. If you want pizza, you want something different.
Right. It's weird. You'll probably get pizza questions from here for the next 6 months, but run with it.
That's okay. It's all right. I don't mind.
Just tell them you demand gift certificates to like pizza places. You'll get a ton of them.
Yeah.
You'll never have to buy another pizza.
I need a Pizza Hut sponsorship.
There you go. Or Little Caesars. Hey, anybody.
Yeah.
Domino's. She's up. Yeah, she's up for
Papa
anything.
John's, any of them. We'll take any of them.
Right.
I'm welcoming all pizza sponsorships.
Here's the question. Being a dentist, now what if a candy company came to you and wanted to sponsor you? I mean, I'm always hearing dentist.
I will confess I have the worst sweet tooth of anybody I know. Candy, ice cream, it's brutal. My sweet tooth is so bad that when I'm dieting, which is very often because we have to stay in good shape for wrestling, I'll drink a Diet Dr. Pepper pretty much every day when I have craving something sweet, just to make me not go insane. So I'm always brushing and flossing extra because I know you should not drink soda every day. I do it, but I'm allowed. I'm a dentist. You can't do it. Okay, that's just the rules.
You hear that, Gary?
I heard. I'm drinking tea.
Okay.
You still gotta brush your teeth after that too.
I will.
How many times should someone brush their teeth?
That definitely at least twice a day, morning and right before you go to bed. But you have to do it right before you go to bed. You can't go to bed and then eat or drink something after, because then that's just gonna sit on your teeth all night.
Right. You can drink water though.
Yeah, you can drink water. That's it.
Right. Okay. I had a question. Now, obviously, in history, what made you want to become a dentist?
So, when I went to Penn State, I just went to college in a science gen ed department because I knew I liked something with the healthcare field, and I was good at science, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I spent the first 2 years just pretty much partying at Penn State and blowing it off. And my GPA was really bad. I think I had a 2.5 GPA. And then that summer, my dad kind of kicks me in the ass. He's like, well, you got to figure out what you want to do, because if you're not going to take this seriously, then you're just wasting your money. And I was like, okay, fine. So I spent that whole summer of my sophomore college, my undergrad, just job shadowing nonstop in the healthcare field. I different specialties. I did job shadowed nursing, finance, business, from top to bottom, everything. And then it was finally when I went to my dentist, I was like, this is really, really cool. Because it was, he told me that you can do the same procedure 10 times a day and it will never be the same, because no 2 smiles are the same. Everybody has different challenges, different bites, different shape, and it's incorporating your own artistic ability into science. And I was that really, the nerd in me was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So then I went to my advisor, my academic advisor, and said, I really want to be a dentist. And she took one look at my GPA and she said, there's no way you're going to get into dental school. So that's all she needed to say. I spent the whole next 2 years doing nothing but just studying my butt off. I brought my GPA up to a 3.7. I did awesome on the DAT, which is the test you have to take to get into dental school. And I sent that academic advisor every acceptance letter into dental school that I got, just to prove a point of my being passive aggressive.
Right.
So that's Dr. Britt Baker what she can't do.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
See, Terry thought it was because of Hermie the Elf from Rudolph.
I do love Hermie the Elf. I do love Hermie the Elf.
So you were
Now,
right.
You see? Do you get like? Do wrestling fans give you any gifts of Hermie the Elf, or no?
Yeah, quite a bit. I have a coffee mug. I have a sweatshirt. I wear the sweatshirt quite a bit, actually.
Nice, nice. I was actually see Gary. I told you.
I was wrong.
Now, obviously, we've learned about George Washington's teeth. Now, if I could build a time travel machine and bring him back, would you be able to help him? And what would you do to correct his dental problem? Yank them all out, dentures?
I think we would have to just do, a full mouth extraction and then do some implants and crowns.
See, there you go. Because apparently
Unless
it was
he's
really
cheap.
painful.
If he's cheap, we'd have to do dentures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary, it looks like we're going to have dentures when we're older.
Cheap. Wooden ones. Hey, we want to know about the role model thing. I see people were saying that that's Bailey's term, but I think that you were the first role model, correct?
So I think she might have said it first in a promo. And I actually had no idea. And I don't think anybody here knew that, because we were going off the Chris Jericho self-proclaimed role model thing. And people kept saying, when I was a babyface, how I'm such a role model, that I did my dentistry degree and that I'm also a professional wrestler. And I'm really succeeding at both, that I have two essentially plan A's. I don't have a plan B.
Right.
And I'm succeeding at both. And then when I turned heel, I just really leaned into that, because people actually started turning on me because they were saying that so much. They were shoving it down their throats, like, she's a dentist, she's a dentist, she's a dentist. And they're like, oh my God, we get it. She's a freaking dentist. Anymore. Like, it's cool. It's great. Shut up. So when I turned heel, now I say all the time, I'm a dentist, and I'm a role model because I am a dentist and a wrestler. And then when I fractured my leg, we turned it into role model, ROLL. So it had nothing to do with Bailey, and I love Bailey, and I look up to Bailey, and I've met her many times backstage WWE, but it was not about copying her or stealing her gimmick. And if you follow the product, which now since I noticed that I have been tuning in, it's totally different, but she's still great. She's an awesome heel in what she's doing as well.
Yeah, so basically it organically happened both at the same time with no intentions of pulling one. Yeah. And plus, you mentioned Jericho earlier. That guy is brilliant.
Yeah,
Jericho,
he is.
Yeah, they actually, he actually asked Impact. This is probably about 6 months ago. We were out in California about someone doing a show, and I was available, and I did a show, and just, it was nice catching up with him, because I hadn't seen him probably in about a year prior to that, when we were over in Japan when he was with WWE. And even then, I just talked to him about the business, and ever since I met him for the first time, I've been picking his brain, and it's just the knowledge that he has. And the cool thing about it is he's willing to pass it off to anybody that wants to learn, and it's great.
Anytime I have a promo, I try to pick his brain every single time, or tell him my idea. And he's brutally honest too. He'll tell you if something's like great or if it's stupid. And just his ability to reinvent himself so many times, and just like, it's always a success, it seems.
Yeah. And plus he has that ability to help other people out where it makes them a draw,
Yes.
and
He
it
creates
benefits the
star.
company. Yeah.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah. That's what he's doing with Orange Cassidy right now, is what he says.
Yep.
So, and I think Orange Cassidy is just a totally different kind of wrestler, and it's refreshing to see his style of wrestling. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like that banner between him and Chris Jericho, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy. Where was it? I think it was Chicago. I'm probably messing this up, but his debut when he first wrestled, because he was just doing that he's not going to try thing for a while. When he wrestled Pac on the first pay-per-view, it was deafening, the crowd reaction. It was a full arena, sold out, and it was so loud for him. And it was crazy, because he did nothing before this. Nothing, not a single thing, just the pretend kicks. Yeah. And then you have the whole crowd like screaming and losing their minds for him, because he did like an arm drag is amazing.
Yeah. I remember the first, I seen a couple of videos and, like the old school wrestling fans, I can understand how they don't get the character or they don't, and Ben Boone said it the best. He's too cool
Yeah.
for school type deal, and I get that, and then when you see it that way, and that was the best way to explain it to me. And then I worked a show with him out in Washington State and not DC, but the crowd was great. The match was awesome. And,
yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is you see it on TV, and when there's fans there, the excitement out of the fans. But when you're actually in the audience or in the arena, and you feel that from the fans as he's out there, it's a special moment, So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a really cool. So, but I know Impact, they wanted to try to get Jericho, but he went someplace else. So
He had
whatever
other
company
plans.
he's in, yeah. So
I like how AEW is bringing the fans back slowly. I mean, you can see the difference, in the reaction.
Well, we have the advantage of having an open. We're outside, so it's an open arena. Daly's place is an amphitheater, so you're still outside, and it's big. You can space the people out to the different tiers and the different levels of the amphitheater. So it's nice because we really can safely space people out, and they're required to wear the mask. They're doing the temperature checks to all of them. So it's a nice way to slowly but safely incorporate fans back.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always have an awkward moment in this podcast.
It's
So
all right.
There it was.
We got to
Do you
have one.
awkward encounters with fans? Usually, how sometimes fans are, they're intimidated or they're nervous around you.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever
The
had
worst is when they try to take a selfie, but their hand's shaking so bad that they can't take it. And I'm like, here, I'll get it. Let me take it. Like,
Right.
Well, that's me. I'm scared. The way you made her sound, he's like, don't look her in the eye. Make sure you don't call her Dr. Baker. Make sure you do call her Dr. Baker. I mean, it's like, man, oh man, I was scared for my life to go on this episode.
well, don't worry about it. I'll take the selfie. It's fine.
There you go. Gary, do we have a couple questions?
Yeah. What is your dream match? That's from Matthew.
Oh man. Well, I guess since we're gonna say dream, we're gonna cross the brands. So I would say my dream match would be with Sasha Banks.
Okay. I'd pay to see that.
That would be awesome. And if there's ever a day or a time where we can do War of the Companies, that's who I would want.
We got some more people saying they'd love to see you as AEW Women's Champion. Hope that's in the works. The demo role models, Chris Jericho and Dr. Britt Baker coming soon. So a lot of fan love for you over on the Facebook page.
Oh, well, thank you.
And do you have any anywhere you can be found besides Instagram?
Yep, I am at Twitter and Instagram, Real Britt Baker.
Real Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure the fans know that. Terry, what do you got?
Oh no, that's about it. Are we gonna do that question, hot and not?
That's your question. That's whatever.
Don't you?
No, what's this?
Okay, well, we're not talking
Listen,
about.
Terry asked all the real hard-hitting journalistic questions, like boxer briefs or stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Go ahead, Terry. Take it away.
Well, I thought it would be fun. We're not dealing with any wrestlers, so I might throw in one later, but hot or not, we're going to ask you celebrity crushes.
Okay.
Are you able to do that? Like, if
yeah,
they're hot
of course.
or not. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
let's
cool.
do it.
All right. Johnny Depp.
Hot. He's my favorite. Literally my favorite. Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite movie ever. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, tell her who we had as a guest. Pirates of the
We have
Caribbean.
Mark Klubba.
No way.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, he's really cool. He was telling me to shave my head.
He wants to fight me, so.
Yeah. So.
And we have Jason Momoa.
I'm torn. I'll say hot. I appreciate what like the long hair and everything. So we'll go hot. But he's on my first pick.
John Stamos.
You just love John Stamos.
Hot.
Oh, good. Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna have.
He was gonna be so disappointed if you said not, because he's talked about him. We talked on the phone yesterday. You talked about him for like 30 minutes.
Right. I had a conversation with Gary. Well, it wasn't really a conversation. I was just telling him how I thought he was so hot and dreamy and all that. No, did you see that new Progressive commercial that he's in where he hits that? I laugh every single time I see that, and I have to rewind it and watch it a couple times.
Only you would rewind a commercial.
What's that?
I said only you would rewind a commercial.
Right. Only me. Okay, go ahead, Gary.
Idris Elba.
I'll do hot.
Will Ferrell.
Not hot.
Okay, what about he's funny?
He's funny. He's hilarious.
That's not the
I love
question.
Elf.
So I mean, if someone's funny, they might not be like Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, but does that go a long way with women in general?
Yeah.
So that might make.
I don't know him, so I'm like I'm on the outside. I can only judge by what I see because I don't know him.
Yeah, the question's hot or not.
Yeah, we don't know if he's like, we're not saying like, is he a good person? Like, is it hot or not?
Was he open
All right,
door
I'm
for you?
really screwing up here.
This is your question. Come on, man.
John Stamos or not?
No, you're probably still thinking about John Stamos.
I would just delete your number if you didn't.
That's fine. And I support John Stamos. He's hot.
Good. All right, what else you got, Gary?
Those are the only two actors I know.
Okay. Well, this wasn't that long of a game then.
Yeah, that's a short one.
Right.
Well, you don't have any more?
Adam Cole.
He's hot.
There you go.
He's definitely hot.
I said it. We'd ask one wrestler. So.
There you go.
All right.
I know.
All right.
I know you're probably crunched for time, so.
What's that?
We should wrap it up. I know Dr. Baker's probably crunched for time. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your time, and thank you for only putting us on one day of a timeout. I will make sure Gary never makes that mistake again, and I never
will not. I have it wrote down.
Please, thank you. Respect. Don't forget.
Hopefully we'll be back. Next week we have Michael Lasky. He's former MMA champion. Also played Young Rocky in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he was Colt from Three Ninjas. So we're gonna have him on next week.
The Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Nice.
What about Three Ninjas? That's
the Pink Power Ranger.
So we'll have him on. He actually is gonna fight another Power Ranger in an MMA style fight pretty soon. So he's gonna talk about that. And so, but thank you.
Are they gonna be in their outfits when they're fighting each other or no?
I don't think so. I think this is legit. They're going at each other on Twitter, so it's fun.
Awesome. Hey, did you message Dave?
No, but we're still live, so go ahead.
So what are some of your plans for when are you getting back in the ring? And you said you mentioned your injury real quick.
Yeah, so I'll be in action the pay-per-view tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So
it's a nail match with Big Swole.
Nice. What was the injury and how long was were you out for?
So in March, when COVID first hit, when we were filming in Atlanta, I busted my nose pretty bad. So I broke my nose and deviated my septum, but it was to the point where they're like, you need surgery. But I was really having a lot of momentum, and I was like, I don't want to get it right now. And they said, okay, that's fine, we'll wait. But then I fractured my leg, my tibia, and I tore my LCL. So once I got the leg injury, they're like, you're out for this much time. You might as well get this nose surgery now too, and just knock them both out. And I said, okay, fine. So I got my nose fixed, and then I got in my leg. I didn't have to get surgery, thankfully. It's just been healing, and finally to the point where I can get around on it pretty good, and I'm feeling good about getting back in the ring.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and then you know, and another thing that's you know, you've always been professional, you know, in the wrestling business, and you know, as far as being a dentist, that's something you have to be as professional too. You know, work in dentistry and all that stuff. So, yeah. See, my friends, they're not professional.
Right.
Gary. Not
No.
even calling her Dr. Baker. How dare you, Gary? So, but all right. Well, Mrs. Baker, Mrs. Dr. Baker.
Dr. Baker.
Yes, we
That's
appreciate your time. And then if you got to bounce out, Gary and I will wait for Dave to come back and close out this show. So tell
All
Adam.
right. Thank you
Cole-
guys so much.
Tell Adam
Thank you.
Cole we said hi.
I will. I'll
And
tell him.
yes, tell your parents I said
All
hi
right. Thank
too.
you guys.
Thank you.
You're the
Great
best.
having you. Thanks.
Thank.
All right. So, like I said, we got Olasky coming up. Then 2 weeks from now, we got Bill Morrison coming up. We got a pretty good September going.
Now, are they any of those guys doctors? Do we have to call them?
Doctor, no.
Yeah, that was a lot of questions, though.
Oh, there's
There were a
still
lot of
more
people
questions.
like-
Now you got people saying how hot John Stamos is. So
Well, hey, man, I got to call it like I see it, man. Guy doesn't age, man. Guy doesn't age. He ages well. I was
he aged
looking at
well.
something. What's that?
He aged well.
Yes, yes. I wish I could say that too. So
For
I
who,
think
me or you?
Dave, he was over at his buddy's house.
Dave's doing day drinking, so we might be on for a while.
Right. Good thing we were like, Brett, you could, Dr. Baker, you could go. You've been like, all right, guys.
This could be a while.
Yeah, that's that long goodbye. It's like,
It's
see
it's
ya.
so
So-
hard to say goodbye.
right. So no, like I was telling you know, earlier, you know, she really picked up the ball, you know, because you could tell when they want it, you know, and I can only give you so much advice, you know, but you know, it's like raising kids, you know.
Yeah.
If you can give them the tools, but if they don't put it to work, it's up to them, you know. So
I want to
but she
thank you.
told me, she goes, yeah, I was on Jericho's podcast and I told him how you were a mentor towards me. And I'm like, well, that's cool, you know, so, but anyways.
Well,
And that's why I'm like, yeah, we should get her on the show.
I was perfect. Yes, I like we need to get more of them.
Yeah. I wish she would have
Thank you
leaned
too
into
for stealing my Punxsutawney question. That was number one on my list right here.
Yeah. What
Until we
about,
don't rehearse.
oh, I didn't know. We should have, yeah. I'm actually sad that I brought it up because I didn't want to know it was filmed in Chicago.
Broke your heart.
Right. Now, every time I see that, I'm going to think of Chicago. Not that Chicago's a bad place, but I want my Punxsutawney Phil from Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
Not Chicago. It's a nice area, you know, wherever they filmed was nice, but yeah, they fooled me.
My wife said we're dorks.
Right.
Oh, you're just talking about.
Well, we're waiting for Dave to end our show.
Turn it off.
No, we'll just stay on. We got all kinds of catching up to do.
Right. Where's the missus?
And she's right here. Come on.
Well, we'll bring you on. Why is my big giant face? There she is.
Right behind your big giant face.
Yeah, you might want to text Dave.
You might want to check on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are like just talking about random stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. We can
We
all
know.
see it.
We know. The ratings are through the roof right now.
Right. They took a big dive since Britt checked out.
Nope.
Yeah.
Got your
Rick
message.
checked
I
out.
got you.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought we lost today.
We can get out of here.